minha sombra. Hello guys! Okay, I decided to make this video telling you some of the things that I used to do and sometimes still do that are kind of a rookie mistake, in the hopes that maybe it'll help some of you. Maybe you can give me some of your tips and some things that you don't do as well or that you didn't do as well but you're working on right now. I hope that makes sense. So let's celebrate mistakes today, let's learn from this, hopefully. Here we go. Okay, so the first one is something that I learned recently. Probably most of you already know this, but I didn't, and it's about frame rates. So as you know, I live in Portugal, and in Europe we use 25 frames per second, and up until a few months ago I've been shooting at 24 frames, and yeah, that is it. So make sure you're shooting at the right frame rate for where you live. If you live in the US, then go ahead and shoot at 24. Here's what bothered me and here's how I figured it out. I was shooting a concert in slow motion, so I was shooting at 120 frames per second. And then when I looked at the footage, it had all these stripes of light. And I was really bummed out when I got home and I saw this and I was like, nah, I ruined all the footage. And then I looked it up and I realized that it was because I was shooting at the wrong frame rate. If I were shooting at 25 frames per second, it would be compatible with the light frequency, so I wouldn't have had that problem. So I'm going to show you an example right now. So this is me shooting something at 24 frames per second, and you can see it has the flickering lights. If I switch to 25 frames per second, they're gone. Ta-da! As simple as that. Okay, second one is not so much of a tip, it's just a realization, and it's got to do with framing. One thing I've paid more attention to recently is how I shoot things, the perspective from which I shoot things, the angles, the lines. What I tend to do, and the majority of people who probably don't go to film school, there's a plane flying by, is just look at things, grab your camera and shoot, like straight up. Don't really think about it too much, you just go ahead and press record. But actually I just realized that if I take an extra 5 seconds and I play around with the camera first, just think about what I'm trying to say with the image, it does help you make the image more solid. That's something that I think I'm learning about every day, and I have miles and miles to go. But yeah. Number 3, and the final one, is it's got to do with audio. Like, 2 things that have helped get better audio was, number 1, a fluffy sponge thing. I have this one because I didn't manage to get a dead cat. They sold out at the store, but for now I'm using just this to filter out harsh noises and wind and stuff. And the second thing is checking the audio levels before you record. What I've been doing is just plugging in my my earphones because I don't have any headphones, and I should, but yeah, and you just check yourself, check your voice, if it's too loud, if it's speaking, or if it's alright before you start recording. But yeah, it's just a tiny thing, it makes a difference. But what would be really funny is that if this video was all messed up, the audio was all messed up. So yeah, these have been the 3 rookie mistakes that I used to make and sometimes still do. I hope knowing about them helped one of you. If you guys have any tips or any mistakes like this that you used to make and that you've learned to master now, let me know. Let's have a chat in the comments, and then we can all learn something this week. And instead of talking about failure, we're gonna talk about how to make things better. Yeah, okay, that's been this week's video. I'll see you in 2 weeks. So yeah, bye!